Yo, this is Steve Bloom, and you're watching Moana Nui Podcast. We'll be starting soon. Don't go anywhere.
Aloha mai kako, everyone. Welcome to the Moana Nui Podcast. Tonight we have an amazing panel. I'm really excited to welcome these wonderful members of our creative community, particularly putting a spotlight on our cosplayers tonight. With the pandemic, it's been challenging because we don't have a lot of conventions, and even the ones that we do have, the attendance has been, up and down. So it's definitely still not a normal convention season. So I am excited to have folks join us virtually and give folks a chance to engage, build community, and kind of share how they've been adapting to cosplay and why it is important for us to particularly highlight the 28 days of cosplay. It's an important time to set aside and celebrate not just the Black cosplayers in our community, but also celebrate different Black characters throughout mainstream media. This particular social media tradition was originally started by Shaka Cumberbatch Tinsley in 2015 to bring awareness to more Black cosplayers whose existence was often not highlighted as much as others in the community. So I'm excited to be able to help folks learn more about this. If you have been wondering about what, the behind the scenes of cosplay, how you get started, we'll touch on some of these things tonight as we have a wonderful panel of folks who have lots of experience in this area. So I'm going to introduce first our guest moderator, Chana Lawson. She is also known as CC the Geek. She is an entrepreneur, the founder of HBCU Con, which is coming very soon in April. They just successfully funded on Kickstarter, and we're really looking forward to what they're bringing specifically to the con community and the tributes that they're paying to the historically Black colleges and universities. Our panelists tonight, we have some wonderful folks, some familiar faces and some new ones, which is always great. We have our friend, Barr Foxx, who is a cosplayer. He's the founder of Cosplay Your Way, and he really does a lot to highlight and celebrate cosplayers, particularly in this month. He's an award-winning cosplay artist, and he's also a television and film producer. He promotes cosplay through imagery, video, and live events while encouraging individuals to embrace the art of cosplay by choosing the characters they want, regardless of race, age, sexual orientation, size, or gender. He truly is a staple in this community and has been featured in a variety of videos and books such as Cosplay in America Volume 2. He's featured in DC Fandom, Marvel's website, BET. He's produced so many amazing series and film. It's endless. And I am excited to have him as a part of our community. Our second guest is Lucky Luna. She is an artist and a cosplayer. She's been cosplaying in 2013. And while it started as something fun to do with friends, it's become so much more for her. She's also an illustrator and fellow Twitch streamer and the author of Abiona, I hope I say that right, Abiona Monster Hunter on Webtoon Canvas. So very cool to have a fellow creator as well. Next, we have Yarn Goddess Cosplay, and she has been on our show before. She's a non-binary African Caribbean cosplayer who's taken crochet to a whole new level. All of their cosplays are completely crocheted by them, and they have yet to find a cosplay that they couldn't make. On top of being handy with a crochet needle, Yarn Goddess Cosplay is an avid voice for POC issues in the cosplay community. They discuss how to talk about color, race, and politics in the cosplay community while still having fun cosplaying. And our last, but certainly not least, is Sakamoto Ghoul. Sorry if I got that wrong. And I will let you introduce yourself because Dana forgot to leave me some notes. So I'm going to bring them on, and I'm going to let Cece take the reins. For those of you who are joining us in the comments, please feel free to drop questions, engage, let us know where you are tuning in from, and welcome to the conversation. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much.
Hey, Moana.
Hey.
I hope I did that okay. But yeah, let's go to Sakamoto Go real quick because I want him to introduce himself and give folks an opportunity to know a little bit more about you before we get started.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm Sakamoto Ghoul. I'm a father, cosplayer, just, overall anime fan, just into all the fandoms and stuff like that. Been cosplaying a few years now. I'm just happy to be here amongst all the great panelists here tonight and with you, Moana.
Yeah, of course. Alrighty, awesome. So Cece, I'm gonna turn it over to you and let you work your magic tonight. I'm gonna drop to the back and help in the background with the questions and comments and everything. Thank you again.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much to Moana and Dana for, giving us the opportunity to talk about 28 Days of Black Cosplay. Hey, Mari, what's going on? All right, so hello and welcome everyone to a very special episode of the Moana Nui podcast. We are here to talk about 28 Days of Black Cosplay and all the things that, pretty much make up of the Black cosplay community, if you will. So I guess I'll start with, I always love to start with this question. Who are you and what is your passion? And I guess we'll go in order of introduction. So we'll start with Jabbar, and then we'll go to Luna, Yarn Goddess, and then Sakamoto.
Hey, you starting with me? Put me on the spot.
Yes, I'm putting you on the spot.
You know what? That's a great question. And I recently just did an interview, and I'm going to use the same answer because it's true. I am a Black male creator in the entertainment industry and visual arts that love to promote and share Black voices. That's just what I do. I do it in my other world with television. I do it with cosplay. I make sure people of color are pushed to the forefront as much as possible on my watch. So that's who I am.
Oh, that's right. All right, Luna, go for it.
Okay, hi. My main passion is art. For those that know, I cosplay as a hobby, but I'm also a illustrator. So my passion or my main goal when it comes to my art is I want to see Black people in fantasy. Black people in fantasy, Black people in horror, because horror and fantasy have always been my biggest passion. So that's my main goal. What else?
Good go.
I love it. Every time you kind of get all shy, it takes me back to the MomoCon panel that we did.
I was like, oh my God, people
shy and it's so adorable. But I'm sorry, Young Goddess, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. It's like it is kind of cute, like watching people like get shy and stuff because like I'm waiting my turn and I'm just like, okay, take notes. Okay, now I'm just like, hey, I'm here. Well, I am Yarn Goddess, and I've already forgotten the question. I don't know why. I've had like the longest day. And my brain is like excited for this, but it's just like, okay, we're here, we're present, everything's working. Okay, now we can clock out, and I'm just like, brain, no, like we have to like be here. Like stop.
It's okay. But, who are you, and what is your passion?
I am a cosplayer. Well, first, I am a small business owner because I turned my crochet into cosplaying, and then turned that cosplaying into a full-time business. I've been in business for the last 6, going on 7 years in August, and I crochet everything. Like like as far as like my passion goes, it's like I crochet everything, but I think the last 3 years I have really been pushing more so to see crochet on every body type because I don't know what happened. Like I woke up one day and I was just like, why are all the crocheters small and skinny? Why don't I see any plus size crocheters? And then I started like delving more into the crochet community and fiber arts community. And now this year I'm just like on a rampage to show black bodies in crochet, plus size bodies in crochet, just everyone who's forgotten in crochet. I want to see y'all in crochet. So that's my passion / warpath right now.
Okay, I'm here for it. All right, Mr. Ghoul, go for it.
Right. I'm me. But
That's a very New York answer.
right. I mean, I guess I do this mostly, as a hobby and stuff like that. I'm a mechanic by trade and stuff like that. But it's kind of cool because sometimes, I'm able to use that, with crafting and stuff like that. And I just enjoy it. I really enjoy it, and I think it's opened up like a lot of doors and avenues and like opportunities of things that I would have never thought like possible. Like just from just being involved and just networking. I guess at the right times, at the right places and stuff. So, I mean, I truly enjoy it. I really love it for what it is, and it's been great to me. It's been great to me, and I'm just so happy to be sitting here with you guys and stuff like that. And and it's so amazing. Like it's like, oh my god, like I'm so fans of these people that and I'm just here with you. I know I'm fanboying right now, but but it's true. It's so true.
It's okay. We are like everybody has that moment. It's really cool, and the feeling is very much mutual. I've come to know all of you in various capacities, so just happy to be here with y'all. So, but yeah, I was just taking notes on everything that y'all were saying. And I love the notion of pushing forward and uplifting Black voices, discerning Black versus people of color, and, kind of supporting both, but also like that having that line and kind of like, what is it? Understanding the nuances, if you will, when it comes to like race and identity and what have you. Black people in fantasy and horror, uplifting Black businesses and creatives, body positivity in cosplay and fashion. And then I wrote down the mechanical engineering because I think that's so cool, and we don't oftentimes think about how a lot of that goes into cosplay, especially when you talk about these really elaborate pieces that people come up with and they light up, they move, so I think that's just really dope. But yeah, and I also wanted to take a moment to highlight and uplift Chaka Cumberbatch Tinsley, who I don't honestly know personally. I don't know if any of you all do, but I did like take a moment to highlight them and just celebrate them. I do follow her from what I know. Like Chaka mostly like skates now, so that's like the vibe that she's on. But I don't know if anyone has anything to speak on about her, or I don't want to put anybody on the spot in particular.
Didn't she recently do a ad with Nickelodeon highlighting Black cosplayers? Because like I know like she mostly, from what I understand, she kind of mostly keeps to herself because like I know she does work with Google, she works with like she's corporate, but she's a cosplayer, and I think the hashtag kind of like took on its own identity online. And even though like she created, I don't think she engages with the cosplay community the same way. Like she's still uplifting and pushing us, but she's also just like, hey guys, I like, I work with Nickelodeon. Like
right. I think part of it is like her occupation, because I know she works in social media. But to your point, like she definitely does a lot of work in terms of like uplifting other cosplayers and creating spaces for us. And like you said, 28 Days of Black Cosplay has become like bigger than she is, even though it's still like her baby. It's always going to be her baby. But yeah, I just felt like that was kind of, I wanted to like touch on that because I feel like we talk a lot about 28 Days of Black Cosplay, but we don't really, there isn't a lot of discussion and highlight on the actual creator of it. And we can kind of talk a little bit more about the nuances of why that stuff is too. But did anybody, I don't know if anybody else had any thoughts on that before I kind of take it. to the next
No,
question.
I want to meet her. I want to meet her when,
Yeah.
Me
when we get the
too.
opportunity.
Right.
Hopefully, if I do another documentary, I can actually get her in there and talk to her about it, because that would be a
Yeah.
good angle to
Yeah.
have her talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to just have a conversation with her, like just in general.
Skating
I know.
is rad.
I feel like with her like creating the hashtag, like the fact that like a lot of people don't know like who started it. I don't want to say is the point, but like
Mm,
the hashtag wasn't about her. It was
that's
about
true.
highlighting and uplifting, Black cosplayers and doing it for 20 days of Black cosplay. Like, I feel like now, like, we're beginning to, like, put her name forward and being like, hey, she started this, a Black woman started this.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it kind of, like, took off and then the cosplay community just accepted it so thoroughly, I feel like is almost like success in its own way, because she said she wanted to promote 28 Days of Black Cosplay. She didn't say I want to promote Tinsley, the founder of 28 Days of Black Cosplay.
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Like, like the whole point of you creating this hashtag wasn't like self-serving, right? It was so that you could uplift the community. From a community standpoint, like I can kind of see both sides of it. Like for Shaka, it's like, oh, I'm not in it for the glory. I'm just in it to help, give glory to other people. But at the same time, I think it kind of is on us as a community to, to lift up her name and to how, because that's something that's so kind of par for the course, especially for a lot of Black women in the community, where they put in all this work and then they don't, get any credit for it.
Right.
So
Agreed.
I feel you though. I feel you, young guys.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm with you on that. People like her and others in our community that see a niche and they feel it, and
Mhm.
and it's actually something that shouldn't even have to be done, but it wasn't there, and they were like, we have to do something. Those people
Mhm.
definitely, in my opinion, need to be celebrated, need to be screamed. We need to always know where it came from. I'm really big on that. I'm big on giving credit. I'm big on giving people their flowers while they are here. So
Mhm.
that's my thing with her. So again, I would love to meet her. I would love to interview her. I would love to document it if she's open to it. I think her story should be told, because what motivated her to even do it? What motivated
Yeah.
her to say, let's go for this? And how smart it was and how organic it was.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. Big agree.
yeah. I also feel like with her in particular, it's kind of interesting because I always have this really weird relationship with like cosplayers that
Mhm.
are also like uh corporate, and not just corporate, but just like in like bigger spaces. Like when you
Mhm.
see some cosplayers who are models, but then they get into cosplaying and then their cosplayer career takes off differently because they're a model first than the cosplayer, if
Mm.
that makes sense. Like the hobby and
Mm.
everything takes off a bit faster when you already have a platform that is looking for you, that you're building up. Because like when I think about her, like I don't think like I almost like I follow her on Twitter and I almost never like recognize that as her, because I just see Google, Nickelodeon, like these big names, and I'm just like, oh wait, we cosplaying like that? Like if I cosplay hard enough, I could get into Google's bag. Like I could land a Nickelodeon, like like you feel me? But then when I see her, I'm just like, wait, hold on. You're a businesswoman. You
Mhm.
are you're nerdy and everything. You're a cosplayer and all that, but like the other parts of like your life and everything are not because you cosplayed really hard and Google said, "Hey, we saw you skating as the one girl from Rocket Power. Come work for us." It didn't go that way.
Right.
But I do feel like, her name is being passed around, or she's getting more recognition now, not because we're all remembering and going, "Oh, we should probably give her credit," but mostly
Mhm.
because we have seen 20 Days of Black Cosplay change into like a social media challenge, and
Hmm.
TikTok get a hold of it, and people think it's supposed to be like, cosplaying 28 cosplays throughout the course of the month
Right.
versus just showcasing 20 Days of Black cosplayers, and like it's losing its origin. And so now
Gotcha.
you see a lot of us who are just like, hey, no, this is full name, Shaka Tinsley Cumberbatch. Say it
Right.
with me all together, because it's not a TikTok challenge.
Right. Yeah, and to your point, to you and Jabbar's point, I think that that's all the more reason why it's important to like give those people their flowers, is so that you remember the story. You remember the why. Like, why are we doing this? What is the point of all this? And once when you are able to kind of retain a hold of your why, that helps you, you know, keep you from losing sight. Because I was talking to another friend of mine who's a big, you know, like influencer, entertainer, comedian, if you will. And she was talking about how, yo, it's so easy. Like, it's so easy to get caught up in the likes and the, you know, all of that stuff. And, you know, this is coming from someone who's got 500,000 followers. So it's like, yo, it's real, the pressure. And especially now where, you know, there's the capacity to like make money, make some real money, and potentially earn like at least somewhat of a living out of this. It's very daunting for a lot of people. And when you hyper focus on that, it can take the fun out of something real quick.
Yeah, it seems like it's becoming more of a job for some.
Yeah.
For some, I mean, like, I don't know.
I'm not saying
I stay low, so I stay low, so I don't know. I don't have those problems, but it definitely is true. I can see how that can be problematic sometimes.
Yeah, trust me, I run a con, so I know. Like it can become like work real fast, and then, you know, using all your resources, focusing on the work itself, it's hard to you know, it's easy rather to lose sight of the organicness and the fun part and why you started in the first place. So
as you level up, you get into situations where you have to deal with people in the marketing teams, and they're bringing you on as ambassadors for their projects and their stuff. So we get these contracts now, and there's certain things we can't do. Morality clause. It can turn into a real interesting walk. But I just recommend that everybody keep it fun, keep it playful as much as possible. Stay true to the core. And introduce yourself to new people and new things, especially new people coming into cosplay. I love them so much, because if I lose a little bit of why I did it in the beginning, these people are coming in so fresh with fresh concepts and ideas. It's easy to get reintroduced to it and look at it again through their eyes. So I'm so big on new cosplayers all day. I invite like half new cosplayers to my photo shoots because I just want to see their take on everything, and just to teach me again, to bring me back down. Because I've been doing this for a while.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I've been cosplaying since 2011, and
why you cough like that? We say that.
Listen, because like I'm getting to that point where like I turned 30 this year, and I have officially, like, you know, like when like you see a new app, and then like it's not innate. And then you just like hear in the back of your head, like, you know, the bell toll or whatever, like it's your time now, because this is where the social media gap begins. And I remember having to like look up tutorials for TikTok. And I was just like, Snapchat came naturally, Vines came naturally, Musically came naturally. I could use it all without thinking about it. And then TikTok happened. And I was like, how are y'all doing these transitions? Someone put tutorial, someone show grandma how to do this, because I want to be like the cool kids. But with that being said, there was like a new breed of cosplayers that came with that. And I feel like the pandemic, like, you know, sped that up, where now they didn't get the in-person cosplay experience that I feel like a lot of us, you know, had within like the first, like, you know, 10 years. Cause like I remember when cosplaying, we had like the duct tape competitions where you just get duct tape and you try and make an outfit out of it, and everyone's using an obnoxious amount of Gorilla Tape and Sharpies, and those toxins were not good for us, but like it was dumb, it was goofy, it was fun. And then I see a bunch of like newer TikToker or newer cosplayers get on board, but because of the pandemic, they're on TikTok, they're on social media, and then they see how, like, you know, one girl could be like, hey, look at my Five Nights at Freddy cosplay, has 500,000 views. And then we get on board, and then we go, hey, look at, like, you know, my Five Nights at Freddy cosplay, it gets like 500 views. And you ask yourself, why didn't I get 500,000 like the other person? And I feel like social media, especially right now with the pandemic and having to like be online for the sake of safety, sucked a lot of the fun out of, like, you know, cosplaying, because, you know, you want to be rewarded. Like, even for myself, like as much as I've been on social media, like I have a whole marketing degree in social media. And as much as I know that it's very much a stimulant, and like when you get the likes and get the follows, you do want to post more, you want to do more, it's also depressant, because like when you don't get the likes, you don't get the posts, you find yourself going, oh, it's not the algorithm, I'm the problem. And you're just like, it's the algorithm, it's never you. But like, tell that to a 13-year-old who wanted to cosplay from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. I think part of it, like you said, it's so, and especially post pandemic, right? Now that we're in a pandemic, and we're not gathering as a community, at least not in person as much as we used to. It's all the more easier to get caught up in the social media like wind tunnel, if you will. And we're kind of more reliant on various forms of social media to kind of like keep us busy or to entertain us, if you will. And then there's that element of like comparing yourself to others, or why am I not doing like this person is doing, or what have you. So I definitely feel you there.
And
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
piggybacking on it, like I know I was saying earlier how much I miss the con scene. Like I miss it so much because I just felt like the connections I made at conventions were a lot more genuine. There's been, and I don't want to come off, because I'm not trying to come off as a hater or anything like that. 'Cause I love all the newcomers, but there's been a rise of the influencer cosplayer movement, and
speak on it. I didn't want to say it, but
there's been a lot of people who are like, you can't cosplay this character because I cosplay this character first. So if you're gonna cosplay this character, you got to give me my credit. Like, or like a lot of.
But Lucky Luna, like, do you remember like back in the day when like someone would come out to the con floor and be like, "Hey guys, I'm cosplaying Raven from Teen Titans. I want every single last Raven within the 5-mile radius to take a picture with me right now."
We would all take group photos and we would just like run, or like all of the trains of Deadpool cosplayers, and they would like do a conga train like around the con floor. Like it was just so much more fun. And I feel bad for some of the new cosplayers or the newcomers that came on during the pandemic, because I was like, I feel like they're missing like that camaraderie.
Yeah, I feel that.
It is a camaraderie, because like I remember, like I think it was I like to cosplay Chell from Road to El Dorado. It's like one of my most like favorite reckless cosplays and everything. And because Road to El Dorado is like, it's like, I don't know, it's like a subconscious thing that we all remember, and there's like a handful of cosplayers that do it. But like I remember one of my favorite things to do was to go down to a con, say, "Hey, I'm cosplaying Chell," someone find my Miguel and Tulio, and then people will tag me and be like, we found them," and I'm just like, what floor, I have to go find them. And if anyone else is cosplaying Chell, I'm just like, find me in the lobby 4:00 in the morning around behind the Chick-fil-A. We gotta take a picture together, all 7 of us. But like there was this excitement because that particular fandom was present, but the cosplayers weren't. And then when we found each other, we became besto friendos. We were like, listen, until I get out this outfit, you are my Miguel and my Tulio to all of our Chells. So you got to put in some legwork. Okay, there's 9 of us and 2 of y'all. You need to strum for your life. Like, but I don't feel like we have that, like, especially online. Like, it's just all very, and I don't want to, I don't know. I study social media a lot, and I still study a lot because like I run a business, but I feel like with a lot of algorithms, they reward drama more than they reward fun. So you find cosplayers, having their stuff pop off and everything on social media because they could simply go, "Hey, this person copied me because I did body paint and they did oil paint, and I feel like this is not fair." And then cosplay community implodes. And then next thing you know, the video has like 500,000 views. But that's not the cosplayers. That's the algorithm not rewarding fun stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Like, small confession, like before the panini, like I rarely posted on social media. Like I would go to conventions and I would just post my cosplay to social media and go. So I wasn't seeing the social media cosplay scene like that. So when I first made a Twitter in like 2018, and when I, like in 2020, when I'm on Twitter more often, because I wasn't really on it there. I just created it and I posted a few things, and then like I just wasn't on it like that often. But now it's a pandemic. I don't have anything to do but be on Twitter. So I'm on there and I was just hit like, whoa! Because there was a drama episode every cosplay community in shambles, and I guess I just didn't notice it before. Because I was like, hey, we're going to BubbleCon. I'm going to hang out with my buddy.
No, but listen, I feel like Twitter is like the place to start drama though, because like I remember, I think it was it 29? No, 2020? Was it 2020 or 2019? Either way, when the whole BlurCon debacle happened and everything, and I remember the first thing I heard about it was through Twitter.
So
And then I went to TikTok. And then I went to
That was 2020.
Facebook. That was 2020? Yeah, so first it was Twitter. It was Black Twitter in particular. And then it was TikTok. And then it was Facebook. And then before I do it, my Instagram feed was just like, it's nothing but BlurCon stuff. And I'm just like, yo, we good? What happened? And then I heard about what happened. And I was just like, oh, let me cover this real quick, because like I'm not gonna like, go back and show someone like, the 45 plus thread of people replying under this one post. I'm just gonna make a video, keep up with it. Y'all could watch this. But then I remember like watching my videos outperform, and I was just like, oh crap. YouTube, do you only reward drama? What is going on here? But I remember it like took over the airwaves like completely. And I'm just like, okay, this is like, cool, like, whatever, social media engagement is nice, but like we literally had nothing else better to do but indulge in this. And the way everyone made a TikTok video about this, I was just like, people who don't even cosplay were just like, did you hear? And I'm like, you don't even go here, my guy. Like,
so I'm gonna piggyback on that because I was a part of all of that. It was really interesting to see how many people wanted to interview me, wanted me to come on their show, come on their podcast to discuss that. But those same people said nothing about my first ever Black documentary that I released. And
in the same year.
In the same year, the same exact year, I released a documentary pushing Black people, the first of its kind. Crickets from a lot of people. We do BlurCon. And it's like, oh my God, Barr Foxx. And I was like, you know what? If you didn't talk to me about that, I'm not talking to you about this. And it was a simple thing for me because I work in entertainment. I have a lot of training. But for the simple fact, I was insulted that people do kind of migrate toward the most negative thing that they can or something to get them buzzed. Now, unfortunately, even in my television world, for a lot of the shows that I do, that's still the same mindset. It's you want to fight, you want to floss. And I try my best to fight against that stuff and just promote positivity to the best of my ability. I get cussed out constantly by the networks. They're like, this is boring, Barr Foxx, what are you doing? But I'm like, I have to, if you're gonna make us do that, I need some beauty in there. I need some support for people. I need them being glorified in positive ways. It can't always be just a fight. I personally don't want to see our people fighting each other all the time. So that's my thought. But yeah, I was really turned off that didn't that happen where people wanted to talk to me more about that than the first Black documentary that actually won 2 awards. They didn't care. They want to talk about the other stuff. I was just like, wow.
No, I remember your documentary coming out. I remember seeing the rewards go, and I was just like, yo, he did it. But then I guess for myself, like, I have never been inside of the cosplay drama. Like, I'm very much post it and leave. And the BlurCon thing was like the first taste I got of it. And like, I was doing the videos for them because I'm just like, hey, I'm recapping, I'm doing this. If he deletes it, I got it. Like, I'm letting y'all, I'm keeping up with you guys. But like, for me, it was weird because it was kind of just like, y'all are all here. But then the moment this is done, are y'all going to support the Black cosplayers that you want to see win next year? Are you going to come back and make sure that, BlurCon has a bunch of contestants and that we are all able to go? Or are you just here for just the drama and then when we're done, leave us dead in the water again? Because I know personally, I was jaded like multiple times in 2020 where I saw, I think, Juneteenth, George Floyd, an insurmountable amount of support, and then dead in the water a couple of weeks later. And then BlurCon, support, traction. YouTube is like, yes, your videos are fire. We love you. And then I go, hey guys, I watched a dumb movie while I was crocheting. YouTube. Girl, go back to the drama. I'm like, no, I don't want to. It's 3 weeks old. I don't want to. And then once again, dead in the water. And then it just felt like every time there was a spike of something happening, specifically cosplay related wise, every algorithm outperformed. But then when that drama was done, it was just like, okay, now your content's dead in the water. And it's just like, okay, don't internalize it. It's not you. It's not you. But also, to this day, my 3 videos still outperform all my other stuff. And I'm just like, I'm working on a whole series right now highlighting Black fiber artists, like these bomb ass Black fiber. Like, I'm working on a whole thing. And I know when I post them on YouTube, they're probably going to get like maybe 30, 40 views because they're fun, they're uplifting, they're Black people thriving in the fiber arts community, not a contest who won and then someone else and then she wore, I don't know, polyfill instead of like, beads or something, and she had the wrong shoes. Like, it's not drama. So I don't know how YouTube is going to push it, and I find myself just not really caring that much about YouTube's algorithm as much as like I want to see my website and my YouTube channel to have a page for highlighting Black fiber artists, and that's what's pushing me more. But like the drama stuff, it's definitely like addictive because it does make numbers, but you can't indulge in it because it's exhausting like long term.
And I will say, like, it's kind of human nature, and I'm realizing like a lot of people have this. Even I've been guilty of it sometimes. We do this with celebrity drama and like stuff that's going on. We're nosy, like we're just, sometimes people are just nosy. Because I've caught myself with a lot of celebrity drama, or even some of the drama in the cosplay community. You're just like, ooh.
She said, what now? You get your snack and you're just like, the one gif of like the bird with the binoculars and popcorn. You're just like, I'm not gonna say nothing, but ooh, girl, what
I just be like,
yeah. I think it's a give and take, right? Because on one end, you don't want to feed the trolls, so to speak, and you don't want the community to become like a monster that you don't recognize. And at the same time, in that same notion, you also want to make sure that you have always kind of like a critical lens on especially when it comes to like things surrounding race relations and racial identity. You just always want to have your you don't want to be remiss of critical analysis to the point where you kind of are like positive vibes only, and
yes.
then you just keep wondering why certain cycles repeat themselves because we're not taking a honest look at what we're doing and who we are and what we represent, what we're saying versus what we're doing. So I think that's kind of like important to always like look at, because it's easy to deviate from one side to the other, right? But I think there's so much to that, and also to your point, like following trends versus doing something that might be more niche. And it's unfortunate because beyond the cosplay community, the media in general just kind of gravitates towards drama. So it's just kind of what it is, and it's unfortunate. And I think in certain particular instances, if your brand or your organization already has a substantial platform, then that makes it even more like when something goes left, then you're like on a world stage, you know what I'm saying? So that's why people say like make your mistakes now when you're when you're starting out, because you don't want to get big and then you start fucking up on the world stage. Like that's not somewhere you want to be.
Yep.
I'm so glad that I wasn't on social media like that when I was a goofy teenager.
Nope.
Like I thank my lucky stars every day.
Facts.
My early 20s, I'm just like, y'all need to document none of this. Y'all don't need no pictures, no video.
You don't need to see that.
We had a crappy like 180p like flip phone, everything pixelated. That's all we had, and I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Right.
The gothic anime girl with all the blingy.
Yeah.
The blingy like glitter and stuff on MySpace.
Dude. And it's not even to say like I ain't above no afraid. Like I said certain things 10 years ago that like at best I'm like annoyed with myself. I'm like, what the hell were you talking about, Chana? And then at worst I'm like, ooh, I said that. Ooh.
When Facebook will show you what you said in like 10th grade, and you're just like,
this is a moment of growth, So I think that's kind of like important. Is kind of always taking that time to do the internal work, and not just as an individual, but as a community. Because like we kind of set the tone for what, you know, is gonna, for how the world kind of looks at us in that sense. Like people are always gonna try to find the opportunities to like make money and capitalize off something and make it about themselves. Like people are already doing that with my organization now, especially since I got the Kickstarter funded. You know how many phone calls and DMs? I mean, most of them have been congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Most of them people like wishing me well and stuff. But like there are people coming out the woodwork asking for like, you know, just random stuff. And don't have no like who, what, where, why, anything to do with any of this. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so it's like it's real. You know, everybody's looking for something in that respect. And I wanted to address a comment that I saw earlier about how folks just do sexy cosplays and this, that, and the third. And I want to say it's important to like discern a person's like character and their intent versus how they present themselves and how that might resonate with you, because sex work is real work, one. And then two, just because it might, like, what is sexy? What is sexy? Because I remember cosplaying Velma at Katsucon, and someone had asked me, they were like, when did Velma become sexy? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm wearing the same thing that Velma wears in the show. Like, the only difference was my sweater wasn't like almost as long as my skirt. It was just like a normal sweater. So I think that particularly for like Black women and non-binary folks, that Jezebel stereotype is real. And we need to like be cognizant of that, because just because somebody looks sexy to you while they're cosplaying doesn't mean that they're not like genuinely enjoying what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
And I find that the criticism of those cosplays are always people cosplaying canonly sexy characters. So I'm like, what?
Right.
You're not mad at the people for drawing them like that.
Right. Like, it's always for some reason the creators, the cosplayer's fault for cosplaying the sexy cosplay that was drawn in a way that, like, you know, I never forget like when Kill la Kill took off and everyone's just like, oh my god, we got a costume from Kill la Kill, and I'm just like, y'all do know your titties out, right? Like y'all do know every outfit is just titties abound everywhere. So and then we saw the rise of like the fake boobs and everything coming out, so people could be covered but still have their titties out. And I'm kind of just like, okay, but like, are we gonna stop and talk about how the animation for Kill la Kill really is just extreme fan service and a thong? Like everyone in this show naked, and yet we're all cosplaying from it. But like, if I decide to cosplay the sexy Kill la Kill character, I'm wrong for doing a sexy cosplay, even though the character literally has a thong and big ass wings. That's it, and like a really cool wig.
I'm gonna do it next.
I know that's right. Who they keeping now? What is know something about the character? Who dictates that? And then to your point too, Yarn Goddess, then there's that whole like race thing where like if you're a Black person cosplaying a character, especially a traditionally non-Black character, you're the ghetto version or you're the hood version. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't pass.
Or the SJW version.
There's that element there too.
Or the SJW version.
What is SJW? I'm not familiar.
Social Justice Warrior. The first post I made on Twitter was my Samus cosplay, and because I'm plus size and Black, I got called the social justice version.
And probably because you got locks too.
I had locks. My locks were blonde back then. But yeah, they were like, oh, it's the SJW version of Samus.
Wow. I've never heard that.
I was on Twitter for 2 seconds. I said, oh.
I still love the fact, I think it was, I want to say it was Blacktober last year, because like it was Inktober, but then the guy who did the hashtag Inktober is like actually like garbage. And people were just like, okay, what can we do instead? And people were like, okay, Blacktober. And I will never forgive Black Twitter for doing this, because every artist was drawing their favorite characters as a Black character, and then someone somewhere said Negroification beam, go, and I was like, And then the artwork was fire underneath it. But it was just like Sailor Moon, transformation, ta-da, now your favorite character is a black person. And I'm just like, I can't say negrification beam. I like it though, but like, you guys, can we think of a different hashtag for Blacktober? But also the artwork is fire. But Black Twitter, please, like, can we do something
Right.
different? Like, I'm looking up the hashtag to get the artwork, but my search history, Twitter, please, like.
Facts. Can we read your hashtags out loud before you use them?
Listen, I'd be like, what's going on Twitter? Well, you see, I got this censor beam. Like, what was that? A redacted beam. I'm like, girl, let me type it in. I can't listen.
Lord have mercy. Well, I'm glad you guys are like really hitting a lot of the questions that I was going to ask too, because I was going to talk about addressing anti-blackness and misogynoir, transphobia, homophobia, not just within the cosplay community as a whole, but particularly within the blurred or black nerd community.
Do we have 3 hours?
Yeah,
Do we have 3 hours?
No.
Because you covered a lot.
I mean, we kind of already started to digest it, like in this, especially when you guys talk about social media and the whole kind of like capitalization of cosplay. Like, no community is a vacuum, right? So any like phenomenon or any ism that we experience in the outside world is going to eventually find its way here. That's why we're creating all these platforms. You know, that's why we have these spaces. That's why 28 Days of Black Cosplay exists, is because, you know, these things are very real. And, you know, as much as we kind of want to beat around the bush in that sense, they're also like very internalized. So that's why a lot of times when you get these comments, it can come from your own people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild. So yeah, I just felt like that was important to name that.
Also, speaking of like, you know, other factors leaking into every community, I was thinking about like how with like the TikTok, I remember when TikTok first started, and I was like kind of meditating on whether I wanted to make one or not. Mm-hmm. And all these people who were, I would say, of the conventional beauty standard, we're like, it's so easy to blow up on TikTok. Anyone can do it. And so, like, when I tell you how I was humbled when I tried TikTok, I was like, oh, anyone thin and light can do it. Anybody thin and white and Eurocentric features. Like, okay, I see.
No.
Okay.
I feel like TikTok is like a really weird like anomaly, because I did the same thing. The pandemic started. I was like, hey guys, I'm on TikTok, but I'm mostly here for like, you know, it's and giggles. I'm not taking the platform seriously. And then I remember I had showcased some of my cosplays. So I was like, hey, here, I like the song. Here are a couple of my crochet cosplays. You know, here you go. Do whatever. And then it blew up. And then I saw my store get traction. And then I saw my social media get traction. And I was just like, oh, crap. I got to use TikTok for real. And then I got back on TikTok, and TikTok was like, no. We gave you your views. Now you're not allowed to have any more until 3 months from now. Good luck. Let the games begin. And I'm just like, I hate it here. Because it's weird. The platform is weird. It's obviously racist. They don't care. But like, again, it's that like, you know, you jump on the platform, you play around with it, you don't take it seriously. And then at some point they give you a little bit more. Like, it's like they know just how many more views you need to be like, wait, no, I can make it. I can do it. I can be a TikTok cosplayer. And then they just like beat you. Like, they just like hurt you and everything when you think you can make it on there. And then anyone else who says it's easy, you're kind of just like, no, it's not. Like,
it makes me think about that Forbes, you know, how they released the Forbes list of all the top earners on TikTok and how none of them were Black, you know, but then you have like, who's behind all these trends? You know what I'm saying? Like literally any and every possible trend that you could think of, we had something to do with it. So it's like,
if you go on TikTok and go on the For You page, everybody from like time, like it takes a minute for you to find like a couple of Black faces on that For You page. It takes a minute.
That's why we do what we do, guys. That's why we have 28 Days of Black Cosplay. That's why we have Cos Noir with Cosplay Your Way. That's why I am doing my show that's airing now. Hopefully you guys are checking it out, where I'm pushing Black voices for the TV show March. This is why we do that. People are not going to hand us anything. They never were. They never did. I was lucky enough to crash and burn early thinking that was going to happen. And I was taught that it was not going to happen. And I was in a position to create avenues and lanes to the best of my ability. Now, I'm only one person, but you're one person, you're one person. The more we do stuff, the more we push stuff, the more it's going to get out. When I started cosplaying, there was probably 5 of us in the room of color. Okay. I've seen that grow so much over the years, and I'm so excited for it. I mean, we didn't even call it cosplay back then. I think we just put on costumes, is what we called it. But I'm not saying it's enough, and I'm not saying that we don't have a long way to go. But what I am saying is that with HBCU Con and all the stuff that you guys are doing, and Cosplay Your Way and Cos Noir and all this stuff in the Cosplay Your Way documentary and all the things we're doing, we're finally getting in front of people and saying stuff. Now, in my industry, there's a new craze to make sure Black people get heard, Black people get seen, Black voices are shared. It's almost in a contract. It's a non-said contract in the TV world right now. Yeah, part of me is like, it took this long to get there. But the other part of me is like, you know what, it's deserving. And not only are we going to take you up on this, we're going to show you why you were stupid to not make this a thing anyway. And I believe in taking those opportunities and just really remixing it and making it blow up bigger and better than they could ever imagine, and taking the power away from them. Because
thank you, Mr. Foxx.
You're welcome.
I like that energy.
I was going to say, I feel like there requires a certain level of balance though with it, because like I know for myself, like I definitely appreciate those around me doing everything they can to like, push Black cosplayers forward and get like, the views, the reach, the engagement and everything. But I learned about this term this year called self-care. And it's okay to just like stop and realize you're tired. Because I know for this year in particular, for like 20 Days of Black Cosplay, I didn't do anything. I was just like, I am tired. I have survived yet another year of this Ponderosa. And this, I will call it everything, but one of my friends called it a haunted pizzeria. And I was like, listen, this Domino's got ghosts in it. But like,
practicing vocabulary,
But I think it's just like, I always question the Black community's I guess hyper focus on like our value and our worth when it comes to being productive 24/7 in spite of everything that we're oppressed by. And it doesn't mean like, it's hopeless that we won't make it. But I think we do need to stop and like, say, hey, I'm tired. And for maybe the next 2 weeks, maybe the next month and a half, I am not going to go and above and beyond. I'm not going to do anything. Like if I feel like it, I will. But if I don't want to, I'm just not. And I feel like, especially like as I'm non-binary, but like I'm still femme presenting. I feel like Black women get demonized for even having this idea in their head to think that we could stop for a second because we're supposed to save the world. We're supposed to stop the racism, the isms, the phobias, everything. And I'm just like, I can't. I keep telling people I'm not Bob the Builder. You got the wrong one. My utility belt is missing. It's been missing for the last 6 months. Girl, I can't make it to Home Depot because I'm gay. I can't do it.
I totally agree. I think self-care is definitely what we should always do all the time. I have to say though, I was the opposite. I went a whole year and a half. I'm like, where are the pictures? Where's my photo? I called people. I had a safe space. I rented a bigger space so it invited less people so we could get these shots done, because I was like, I want you to still put this energy into cosplay if you want to. And I just created a space. Yeah, it was if you want to, because I know some people took breaks.
I say that's important though, because like for myself and everything, I feel like we only see a lot of like the go-getters, the pushers at the forefront, and then it's like this idea like if you're not pushing and going to get it, then you are somehow not doing enough. And I could be like, nah, man, Jabbar got like 9 different documentaries going. I'm gonna take a nap real quick. Jabbar, call me in when you need a nap. I'll take over when I'm ready. Okay. And like, we'll just do that. But like, I want to see more Black cosplayers make it to the forefront and say, hey, I'm tired and I'm going to give you the bare minimum.
Listen, I hit rock bottom last year when I caught COVID. I had COVID and I still was trying to do, because Hot Topic sent me this Harley Quinn cosplay. So I'm still trying to do this influencer stuff for Hot Topic. And I was like, okay, well, let me take this picture. And then I looked at the picture and I was like, face this big, face swollen, face swollen. I'm sweating and I'm just like, and I said, Maya, sit down. So after allowing myself to be sick, like, you know, I did try to carry on, like, you know, a little bit for the sake of, like, but then I had to sit down and be like, okay, you caught COVID. You had a family member pass away from COVID. Like, you know, you have all this stuff going on. Now I got to plan a wedding. I'm getting married. And that's like, all of this stuff is going.
Right, congrats.
But like, all the stuff is going on. And I was like, Maya, you deserve a break. You don't have to keep working through all of this.
It'll be here. It'll be here when you come back.
I haven't done anything for 28 days later. I've been sharing as much people as I can. Like, yeah, you go, share, retweet, share. But like, I haven't really done anything myself, and I'm okay with that.
Well, back to somebody put a statement up, the 28 days, and I think you brought it up too, CC, or somebody did. 28 days being 28 different cosplayers or 28 pictures of yourself. Which is interesting because I've always approached it as a promote 28 different people because I want them to be seen. I guess you could put on 28 cosplays yourself. I mean, I'm not against it, but you know, teaming up with Andrew Michael Phillips and doing the Cos Noir thing, I think is really important to push as many new cosplayers, especially people coming into the cosplay world, as possible. So I approach it from that perspective. I'm not putting up 28 pictures of me. I don't want to see me 28 days in a row. I know you don't want to see me 28 days in a row. So I'm really big on putting up 28 different people. I'm not saying that it is, you can't do it the other way, but I think that's what it was for, and that's the one in the lane I'm sticking with.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I think that was why folks started going back to interviewing Chaka about, like, well, why did you do this? Because that was kind of the point, was that, you know, and it's nothing wrong with it, you know, especially if you're a full-time content creator and you got to push first, like, that's Black History Month. Let me tell you, like, if you have a Black business or a Black organization, Black brand, whatever, February is your month. Like, February is your month.
Double down.
You get unforeseeable reach that you will not otherwise see any other time, unless it's like some, you know, like super viral thing that you do and it's like a 1 in a million type deal. And it's you know, real. And I know that, having worked for Black businesses outside of the community too, where they're like, yo, this is our time. Like, this is where we make most of our profit.
New impressions this month. You get a lot of new impressions this month on whatever you're doing.
Right. So I totally get that. But then also, you know, back to our earlier point, remembering the why. Like, why is this a thing? And, you know, like you said, especially now, with us not, you know, going out as much and having to think twice about going out and getting vaccinated and this, that, and the third. It's like, we need to be a lot more intentional about being in community with one another. We really, really do.
Agreed.
Thank you. Great. Appreciate y'all. I'm reading the comments, y'all. This discussion is just getting so good. I see that folks were chiming in, though. Make sure we continue to push ourselves. Yes, that is true. We have to push ourselves.
To make everyone mad.
Highlight that it's okay to be Black and not always. Agreed. I agree, Saba. You've been on the money all night. I've been reading your comments.
I know, dope. I love them. I'm reading them too.
Yes, no, they're the best, yo. They're the real MVP. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry.
It looked like did Moana just say we need to wrap up? I thought I just
look, I know, like I was waiting for my 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I think she sent it. With this group we could talk all day, which I love.
Right.
I think she's gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed this. But yes, I would like for you all to go ahead and shout out your social medias, tell folks how they can find you. and like what things you got coming up. So go ahead. We'll start with Jabbar, Luna, Yarn, and then Sakamoto.
Hey, okay, so I am Barr Foxx. You can find me on all social media at Barr Foxx, 2 R's, 2 X's. You can watch my television show that I'm producing right now, airing on the CW, called March. It is about HBCU bands, Prairie View, so check it out. My documentary, Cosplay Your Way in Color, is going to be played at Comic-Con Africa, so that's coming up. And then you can also find it on Freely TV. And I am also putting out an amazing 28 days of cosplay. Please go to Cosplay Your Way and check it out. But you can also follow me on Cosplay Your Way. It's called Cos Noir, teamed up with photographer and visual artist extraordinaire Andrew Michael Phillips. The pictures are so dope. Everybody looks so good. Check it out, share it, comment, and hopefully we can work together in the future.
All right, I know that's right. Go ahead, Lucky Luna.
Yeah, I'm Lucky Luna. On all my, well, if you type in Lucky Luna, I'll pop up like this. So
I know that is your
find me.
personality in a picture too.
I love your name. I meant to tell you, the first time I saw your name, I was like, that is so dope. Lucky Luna. I love it. Okay.
I'm a Sailor Moon fan.
But we live by the moon, we die by the moon.
Yes. So Lucky Luna, I have a webcomic on Abiona, it's called, I have a webcomic on Webtoon Canvas called Abiona Monster Hunter. Check it out, read it, and watch over my social medias. I'm joining YouTube soon.
Hey,
oh, that's right.
Welcome.
And I'm on Twitch.
Somebody said they love your laugh. I love her laugh too.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Yarn Goddess.
All right, you guys can find me under Yarn Goddess or YG Cosplay on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. YouTube algorithm is pissing me off, so I've been pulling away from them more so lately. But you can find me on Twitch 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays because I like it over there. Twitch rewards my goofy and off the wall behavior. Because this month in particular, for Black History Month, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with a Black Lady sketch show, but
yes,
so y'all know the Hertep?
No, but I can imagine that visual.
Oh yes. Oh.
So I had to join my fellow sister in her fight against the Black alpha males and their podcast, and I started doing my Hertep Wednesdays for the month of February. Every day, and we come to church, we have a good time, we roast people's cooking ability. It became a whole identity that now is part of my Twitch streams, and I have regular church music that plays. We have a whole yarn blessing, if your yarn's not working right, we have a whole blessing in my channel for you guys. My Twitch is so painfully chaotic, but in the best way possible. So definitely go check me out on Twitch and YG Cosplay on all my other platforms.
That's what's up. I know YouTube is a slow burn, but just keep at it. I know it's hard.
I'm
still do your Twitch thing. But
my thing with YouTube is I know how the algorithm works because I know that they reward drama, and my best videos, I could get traction. I could get monetized. Oh, I could get monetized in a month, but I refuse to play their games. So I'm just y'all gonna get this fun, happy content. It's just gonna take me 3 years to get monetized.
I know that's right. Go ahead, Sakamoto.
Sakamoto Ghoul Cosplay. I'm only on Facebook and Instagram right now. Also, it's just crazy. But I'm gonna get there. Got new content coming and stuff like that. I've been working. I got kids, so I'm always busy. But I'm always working on something. Something always get done. I'm like, yeah, it's done. I'm gonna reveal it one day. I'm like, all right, it's coming. But yeah, new stuff is coming. Working on stuff. So be some big surprises coming this year.
We're looking forward to it.
I know that's right. He said that with his whole chest. He's like, I got kids.
I got kids.
I got kids. You don't understand what it's like. No, I felt that. Thank you all so much. This has been so much fun. Of course, you can follow me at CC the Geek on pretty much every platform except for Twitter, which is CC the Greek Geek. And of course, we have HBCU Con. It is right around the corner, April 29th through May 1st on the campus of my alma mater, Bowie State University. We are having a step show. We are having a fashion show. We're having a gaming lounge and tournament. Just a lot of really dope stuff. Of course, Artist Alley and a lot of dope panels. But just really looking forward to bringing y'all a really dope, unapologetically Black event. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And thanks so much again to Dana and Moana Nui podcast. This is really awesome. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you for always creating space for Black and Indigenous people in the community. Man, it means a lot. And happy Black History Month. Happy 28 Days of Black Cosplay. And Chaka Cumberbatch, we love you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will. So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
I'm Steve Bloom. I've been a voice actor for more than 30 years, playing characters like Wolverine, Starscream, Tank Dempsey from Call of Duty.
With Foxx Studios, I've learned so much about myself.
Learning to breathe, to no fear, to getting ugly in front of the mic.
One of the biggest changes I've noticed, at least for me, is how much my confidence level has gone up.
I've done an Eastern European video game, an e-commerce commercial, a documentary. If you're thinking about getting into voiceover, just do it. Jump in.